After Ben's confession that day, people started remembering strange things, signs they had ignored, moments they had laughed off, stories they thought were just mere village gossip. One evening, about a month before Nora disappeared, Maria, one of her closest friends, had been sent to buy kerosene from the petrol station down the road. She told her mother later that Uncle Ben had stopped her on the way, saying, "Maria, my dear, abeg, follow me collect something for my shop. I go give you biscuits." Maria had hesitated, but her uncle's voice from down the road had called her. So she turned away from Uncle Ben and ran off. At the time, she thought nothing of it, but now the hairs on her arms stood up each time she remembered his smile that day. It wasn't a normal smile. It was the kind that says, "I have plans for you." Another child, a boy, David, also told his story. Uncle Ben had once given him a small phone battery and told him, "Abeg, David, carry am go give my guy for inside one compound near the canal." David, sharp boy, he didn't like the idea. He told him he was going to eat first and he never came back. That night, another boy from a neighboring street went missing. People began to piece it all together. Ben had been hunting for a long time, testing the waters, waiting for a child whose parents trusted him completely. That unlucky day, it was Nora. The discovery of Nora's fate turned Arugo community upside down. Mothers now called their children back inside as soon as the sun began to set. Fathers who hardly had time at home now personally walked their kids to and from school. Even the evening football matches on the dusty field became smaller. No parent wanted their child out of sight. Old men sat under the mango tree, shaking their heads. In our time, you fit leave pikin for neighbor's care without any fear. But now, even rats wey enter house fit get bad intention. For weeks, Mama Nora stopped frying akara. The once busy roadside spot became very quiet. She would sit there sometimes, staring at the spot where Nora usually stood, singing and helping her serve customers. Neighbors would try to comfort her. "Auntie, God knows why. Abeg, take heart, oh." But in her eyes, you could see she wasn't thinking about God's reason. She was replaying that moment when she said okay to Uncle Ben, wishing she could go back and say no in capital letters. Even though the police took him away, the anger in the community didn't die. Everywhere people gathered, his name was cursed. Some wanted him in prison forever. Others said he deserved jungle justice. One old hunter in the village muttered, "The privilege given to the goat is not for it to go to the market for sale." Meaning, Ben had been given the trust of the community and he used it to harm the very people who trusted him. Ben sat in the small dimly lit police office. His hands cuffed to the chair. Sweat rolled down his bald head, even though the fan above him was turning slowly. Two officers were in front of him. One, tall and calm, kept flipping through a file. The other, short and broad-shouldered, leaned close with a voice like thunder. Sergeant Okon was his name. "Ben, you better talk now. Where you dey since that Saturday? And no try lie, cause we go know." Ben kept quiet, staring at the floor. The tall officer, Inspector Obasi, spoke softly. "Ben, you know say for this matter, if you no talk, the whole Arugo go make sure say you no come out alive. So tell us now wetin happen." Ben's lips trembled. He licked them, then finally spoke in a low voice. "I no kill am, na dem, na the people wey I dey work for." The officers exchanged a quick look. Ben narrated how he had been working with a group of men based in a hidden compound near an uncompleted building. They targeted children, mostly between the ages of 6 and 12. Some were sold to human traffickers who moved them across the border. Others were taken to juju herbalists for money rituals. He explained how they operated. First, we will gain the child's trust with small gifts like biscuits, sweets, lollipops, gala, and drinks. Then we will find a way when the parents are busy or distracted. Then we will offer an innocent errand, maybe buying something from the market or from down the street. Once the child is with them, they will disappear. Inspector Obasi's jaws tightened and dropped. Then he finally said, "And Nora?" Ben swallowed hard. "She followed me that day. I carry her enter bus, go meet the others. But when we reach, she begin cry. They shout, say she won't go house. She even scratch one of the men's face. The man vex, grab her neck." He stopped talking, his voice breaking. They come throw her inside the well because they no want make her body dey around. Sergeant Tokon slammed his palm on the table. "You mean say all this time wey you dey smile with people for junction, na so you dey take steal their pikin?" Ben nodded slowly. "I no be the only one o. Dem still dey out there." The officers tried to make him name every member of the group. He mentioned a man called Babati, who lived near Area 12, but usually changed houses often. Another guy who worked with them as well, popularly known as Tallest, because of his height and stature, worked as a commercial motorcyclist in the area, using his Okada to move children quickly before anyone suspected. Ben's words make everyone in that office shiver. It meant the danger wasn't over. There were still predators walking freely in Arugo community, smiling at unsuspecting parents. In Igbo language, they say, "Ihe ọjọọ na-acha aja aja," meaning evil often hides in plain sight. Sometimes the danger is not in the dark corner you fear. It is in the friendly voice you trust. When word spread that Ben had confessed, the anger in Arugo community became uncontrollable. Crowds gathered outside the police station shouting for justice. Some carried sticks and stones and even cutlasses, ready to drag him out and finish him there. The police had to sneak him away in a van to prevent bloodshed. But even as he was taken away, his final words echoed in Inspector Obasi's mind. Them still dey out there. After Ben's confession, Inspector Obasi knew this wasn't just about one man. If the rest of the syndicate escaped, other children would vanish. For 3 nights, police officers moved quietly through Arugo Park and its environs and the small villages on the outskirts. They disguised themselves as market traders, Okada riders, even roadside pepper sellers. Anything just to blend in. They watched for Babati and Tallest. On the second night, an officer disguised as a suya seller spotted Tallest at a beer parlor. He was laughing loudly, holding a bottle of Guinness stout, and on his lap hung his Okada helmet. The officer quickly sent a signal, and within minutes, 2 plainclothes policemen closed in. But as they moved, Tallest's eyes caught them in the mirror behind the bar. He bolted. Chairs fell. Bottles smashed. Customers screamed. The chase spilled into the streets, with the officers running after him through muddy alleys. Tallest jumped into his Okada and roared off into the night, vanishing into the chaos of the traffic, and was never found. 2 days later, the officers got lucky. A street hawker told the police he had seen Babati buying a strange amount of bottled water and canned food, then disappeared into an uncompleted building behind a scrapyard. That night, at 2 a.m., Obasi led the raid. The officers moved in silently, torches off, hearts pounding. Inside, they found two children, a boy of about 9 and a girl no older than 7, sitting on the floor, tired but very much alive. Babati tried to escape through the back, but Sergeant Okon caught him, dragging him down like a hunting dog catching a goat. The children were taken to safety and returned to their parents. Babati was dragged out in handcuffs, his head bowed as angry residents cursed and spat on him. But here is the part that kept Obasi awake for weeks. In the corner of that building, they had found a dusty old school bag. Inside was a faded exercise book, and on the back cover was written in a child's handwriting, "Property of Nora Amadi." Nobody knew how it got there. It meant Nora had been inside that building at some point before they killed her. It meant she might have been alive long enough to hope for rescue. That realization broke everyone's heart. The arrest made Arugo community breathe a little easier, but the fear never fully left. Parents still held their children's hands tighter in the market. Neighbors no longer let kids wander freely. Ben, Babati, and a few others caught were locked away, but everyone knew that there were still more out there, smiling and waiting for another chance to strike. Moral lessons. My people, please listen well. A child's safety is not in the size of your community or how long you've known someone. Even a person who ate in your house yesterday could be the one planning harm tomorrow. We must open our eyes wide. Don't say he's our neighbor, he can take them. Don't say she's my cousin, she's safe. Know who your child is with, where they are going, and when they will return. Because once they are gone, sometimes they don't come back. A lion that ate one goat will surely come back for another. Evil doesn't stop because one person was caught. We must keep watching, keep asking questions, keep protecting our children like the future depends on it, because it does. And remember, not everyone who calls your child my pikin or my child means them well. Some smiles hide teeth sharp enough to tear the innocents apart. Please, let's be mindful of who our children go out with. This is the end of the story. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share.